Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. And I am over in the Oasis, as you guys can see, and I'm actually in a group to kill crocodiles and caimans. Now, the caimans are the lower level versions of the crocodiles, and there's deep water, which is even higher level. So, if you see a deep water caiman, it's a little bit higher level than a regular caiman. But if you see a crocodile, that's probably going to be higher level than both of those. And then if you see a deep water crocodile, that's going to be higher level than all of those combined. So, yeah, you kind of have to, or not all combined, but you know what I mean. It's a little bit higher level, so it's something for you to build up to. Also, over here right now, I'm getting resisted like crazy because I'm only level 10, and, you know, these creatures are all either red or yellow to me. So, yeah, it's definitely hard for any of my spells to land. And my pet really isn't doing that much damage either, so yeah, I'm not really contributing. Somebody about to die. I'm gonna go ahead and toss them a heal of sorts. Basically, I'm just giving them some of my life to keep them alive, and then I can go ahead and try to regain that health from the mob. But again, like I said before, they're pretty much resisting everything, so it's very, very difficult to do that. Going on over here? Where did everybody go? Let me look at the text real quick. Follow the order, more experience. Okay. Okay, so they're just making fun of stuff. Wow, that was pretty close. Let me go ahead and sit down and move back up. But yeah, it's definitely pretty cool over here. Where are they going? I just literally got in this group. I hope they're not. Are they really attacking a giant? Those things are around level 35. Oh, I know what they're going to do. There is a monk over here who was killing these things, and what he'd do is he'd get it all the way to the point where the creature starts running away. And then he'd fatigue death and basically let the group have the experience. That's what he just did right there, if you guys noticed. He's right over here on the side. That's him right there. He just fatigued death, which means the creature no longer sees him as a threat. It would normally go back to its bind point, and it would walk there. But since we're still attacking it, and it's still so low on life, it's not like an Everquest 2 where when you break the encounter... Let me look at our experience real quick. Wow, that was pretty good. I was actually around a little bit less than 2 bubbles till the next level. So that gave me almost a full bubble of experience. Just killing that one thing. So yeah, that's definitely a good way to power level somebody. It's just kind of cool to do it every once in a while, even if you're not into power leveling. So I think that's what this group was doing. I do apologize for the angle. I wanted to give you something where you could see everything around us, and I thought we'd be sitting still. So that was probably not the easiest to follow. It was completely opposite, actually. I did not think I would be killing SGs. Yeah, those guys are a nuisance most of the time. Most of the time, somebody will get aggro on those guys. Let me find a good angle. I guess that's good. I don't know, it's a little far out. Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. Should give you a nice little view. And I guess I should tell my pet to attack, since I'm sitting here doing nothing. Okay, so let's put some spells on. But yeah, they're a nuisance. Somebody will train them by mistake. Somebody's traveling through the zone, and they get aggro, and they're high enough level where they're fast enough to think, you know, I'll just run it to the zone line, and it has a tendency to attack anybody you run past. And so people either traveling in the opposite direction or group stationed in certain areas will tend to get aggro, not on purpose, and the paving has something to do with it as well. Because when the paving is messed up, the creature takes paths that, you know, just aren't what you would think they would. You know, if you're running down one side and the creature decides to completely and totally travel in the opposite direction to get to you, and literally he could have walked like 4 or 5 feet to get to you, but instead reverses and goes the entire zone to come back from the other side. And it's those kind of weird little issues that cause something that you wouldn't think would cause a train to actually get. Those 4 plat splits are nice too. I tried to give him a vegetable instead of so. These guys are weird, but it's funny. But yeah, there are just a few little things you have to watch out for. And again, lockjaw is one of them. if you kill these crocodiles and caimans enough, eventually the mother of all crocodiles, or father of all crocodiles, I don't know if he's a male or female, but whichever one, he... else I have to go farm more bone chips, okay. But yeah, he will spawn every once in a while. When he does, he's a lot higher level than any of the crocodiles you're killing, which means the groups who caused him to spawn aren't any of the people who could actually kill him. Usually what it would require is, hopefully somebody in the zone is killing specters or killing giants and feels like trying to take on Lockjaw, and then he can kill him. He's a little difficult. Sometimes several groups will get together and they don't really care who gets the experience, and the way that works is basically whichever group does the most experience, or does the most damage, past 51% basically, will get the experience for that. And if you just want that crocodile dead so that you can go back to getting experience, you know, you can have 2, 3, 4 groups gang up on this thing. Now granted, he still hits like a Mack truck if you're really low level, so even if you have all that damage trying to hit him, you know, somebody still has to take that initial hit, or during the fight somebody's taking the hit. So one group needs to have like the other 2 groups healers just healing him the whole time. You know, so you're kind of working as a raid group, except you're not really a raid. So yeah, it's a definite... Demiro, I have some pages on me. Do you want them for research? No, I haven't gotten into that yet. Okay, don't type in the dark. Yeah, I probably should take them, but I don't really have a lot of room in my inventory for the first place. And 2, I haven't actually looked up online. This is the very first character I've ever played that has to actually research a few of his spells, and I think it starts at like level 24, and there's a couple of other levels that you have to do it at as well. But yeah, you have to actually get the ingredients for it, and usually they fall in different zones. So if it's like a torn page, you'll get one half of that torn page in one zone and the other half in a completely and totally different zone, which is, in my opinion, kind of cool, because in other games they put them in the same zone, and it makes sense, you know, like if it was in the zone and somehow it got torn apart and now they're on 2 different creatures. But on this one, it was more of the understanding that what you were doing was putting a spell together. You know, you weren't finding pieces to put it together, you were literally through the knowledge of the zone, because the only way to get it is to kill creatures in that zone. So they just assumed that the experience you would have fighting in that zone would somehow awaken you to perhaps some kind of understanding of that zone. And then you go to the other one, you get an understanding of that, and it would kind of make sense that you could create a spell through you know, your experiences. You know, the more you travel, you know, the broader your horizons seem to get, because it just opens your eyes to new possibilities. So it was kind of that lore, I think, is what they were going for. And most people just, you know, took it as, you know, you need those 2 pieces, combine them, and then you're done, right? They weren't thinking too much into it, but I prefer fantasy, but 40k is cool. Oh, Warhammer. Okay, so they're talking about other MMOs. So we are killing a ghoul. By the way, guys, if you haven't watched my Unrest episodes, ghouls can only be hurt with either your spells or a magic weapon. Is he going to do it again? I think he is going to do it again. Let's go there and attack. And you want to make sure that you're within range of the experience. I don't know if there is a range in this one. I know there is in the second Everquest, and it's been so long, I'm not sure if there is on this one, but you want to be near your group for the most part, unless they tell you otherwise. So if your group gets up and starts running, you know, if you're not even sure, if you don't have time to read the text, just get up and start running with them. There will almost never be a circumstance where the group will leave one person behind, and if they do, it's usually going to be the cleric, just in case things go wrong. He can camp out or run down the hall and res him or something like that. But if the group gets up and leaves, chances are it's something bad, and you should be going with them. I don't know why they keep coming and running to me. I know I'm the lowest level, and they have a tendency to go after the lowest level sometimes. My pet's dead. Ah, my pet went off trying to protect me, and wasn't very successful at that, because this thing is probably red to me, which I'll check here in a second. Oh yeah, that's red. So let's put this on. Oh, where are you going? I don't know if we can win this one. Let me see if I can get some spells off. Probably can't. Can I at least heal this guy up a little bit? See, he's running it around in circle, hoping that the pets will do enough damage to the creature little bit by little bit. But the best way to do that is to actually have some kind of either snare on him, or yeah, root would work too. But then whatever the pets are close enough, they're going to be taking the damage. So that got resisted too. Let me try life spike, see if that works. Nope, got resisted as well. That's the problem, guys, when you run into these things, is if you're too low level, no matter how much you want to help out, there's really not a whole lot you can do. Now, I can actually heal up people by using my own health. So if that's all I can do, then that's all I'm going to do. And hopefully I'll be able to recuperate what little life I've lost, or actually in my situation quite a bit of life, in the next fight. But chances are they're going to take a break in between this one and the next one. Here we go. I didn't even think about using my fear. I'm not really used to fighting undead with most of my characters that actually have abilities with it. My cleric is actually taking advantage of that now. Almost went horrible. Loot this stone, bard, armor thing. Yeah, okay. That was pretty nice. I think we did pretty well on that. I think they did most of it. As I said before, I really can't do very much damage here. I think probably the earliest you really want to come here is maybe level 11 or 12, and I'm really close to 11, which is why I kind of figured maybe I could solo here for a little while and get my level before I got into the group. And I was going to do that, except this zone is packed tonight. And by packed, let me show you guys. There's 33 people here, but they're almost all low level. Oh, there's a GM here as well. Yeah, Morgan. So, but yeah, they're almost all low level people. So all the camps and all the stragglers and all these roamers are pretty much taken. It's really, really hard to find things to kill over here. Now, in this area where this group is at, they were literally wiping everything off the map earlier. But they lost a few people, and then they got me in here, which is, you know, not really helping them out too much, or really at all, to be honest. But yeah, so they're not killing quite as fast as they were before. But before that, I couldn't kill anything. I tried going around and trying to find something, and either it was too high or it was already taken, and usually it was both. So yeah, there wasn't a lot I could do to level up, but you are always welcome to do that. You could come over here. There are lower level caimans a little bit closer to the zone line. If you go over to the desert, or yeah, is it the desert of Northern Row? I think it's called the desert, but it's just North Row is what everybody calls it. And if you go over there, the creatures are probably about the level that you should be killing, around level 9 to level 10. There's some really, really low-level green ones right when you first walk in from Eastern Common Lands. If you take a left right outside the tunnel, there's some buildings over there, and there's you know, guards over there, so it's nice and safe. And that leads you over to the town as well. But right outside there are, you know, some low-level snakes and like beetles and stuff like that. Just stuff that you could kill. Well done. Select ID name. I don't know what they're talking about. Let's see, what are they? Okay, so they're not doing anything different. I thought maybe they would be saying something because we've been sitting here for a while, but no, they're just waiting for their power and their life to go back up. And as you can see, it's almost full, and I think I'm lagging out quite a bit here. I'm not sure why. There we go. I think that fixed it a little bit. No, I don't think that fixed it at all, guys. Okay, hold on one second. Apologize about that, guys. I'm not quite sure why I'm getting lagged there, but hopefully it will fix itself here pretty soon. Sometimes the hard drive fills up and it takes a few minutes for it to switch to the other one, so that might be what's happening right here. Let's see. Okay, so now it's done. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know why it was doing that. I think I might have been getting a little bit of lag on the server, but it's fixed itself and it's going pretty good so far. So what we're going to do, wait, hold on a second. with your crew of... Yeah. That's crazy. These people can sometimes, know each other, and so when you're trying to actually follow along in the conversation, because this group actually has been here for about 4 or 5 hours at least, because that's how long I was in the zone, running around just checking things out on my own. I hadn't killed anything, because as I said before with you guys, that I want it to be a journey we take together. And so when I kill a creature or I turn in a quest, I want you guys there for it. When I run around and don't really do too much, I'm just kind of exploring the area and trying to get familiar with it, so that when I come on camera and actually start talking about it, I don't sound complete stupid, because I don't know everything about the game. I'm sure some of you guys are watching and be like, no, you're wrong about that. You didn't explain that quite right, or something, but I try to at least know as much as I can about the zone a little bit, as far as what I remember back in the day. Now, I'm not going online and I'm not doing any research like that, but I played the game for a long time, and some of it's coming back, some of it's not really, I had to relearn it basically. But the more I walk around, the more I check out the zones, the more I talk to NPCs, the more familiar it gets to me. So then when I come back in, I can go ahead and tell you guys little stories that then I remembered about it, down the road. So it's actually pretty cool. I'm definitely enjoying my time here on the server. You guys should come out and try it out if you're into this game. If you're already on the server, you guys are more than welcome to hit me up in game. We can go do something. I definitely want to try doing some groups in some zones that most people never went to. And there's a few zones out there that are low-level zones that are really, really far away from everything. And as a low-level person who just started the game, trying to find your way outside of a city, literally the Dark Elf city, I had to kill myself just to get out. So yeah, just trying to find yourself a way out of a city can be difficult enough, let alone trying to find out about a zone that nobody ever goes to, and then figure out how to get there when you're still learning how to play the game. So yeah, it's weird they would throw a low-level zone like that so far away, and there's actually quite a few of them like that, so I definitely want to try those out, because not a lot of people do. People will go there with a higher level character just to see what they look like, because they never went there at a lower level one or at any level, but it's not quite the same in my opinion. Oh, there's another... They just abandoned the crocodile. They're like, we don't care. We don't care that it's still attacking us. In fact, let me put up my experience so you guys can see. Now, I am about a bubble of a blue into this next bubble, so it might actually level me. We'll have to see. He's at 3% now, and I'm probably not doing a whole lot of anything. I'll probably be missing quite a bit because I never used my weapon to begin with. But the monk should be able to hit occasionally because he's pretty good. But again, you got to take into account that he's a low level, and the creature you're fighting has, I think they get AC or some kind of version of it to level up to a certain amount so that you will occasionally miss even at that level. No, all I got is another bibble, basically. I got another blue bar of experience. That's not too hot, to be honest. And, of course, I am the lower level, or the lowest level in this group, so I'll probably be getting the least amount of experience out of all of them, because that's how it works. The highest sucks up the most, but then usually the highest level person in a group is doing the most, work, because if you have a high level tank, he's going to be doing a lot of damage. A high level wizard, he's going to be doing a lot of damage compared to somebody else. Really, the only one that doesn't really follow that that thinking would probably be a cleric, because it really doesn't matter at a certain point what level he is. Once that cleric gets his new level heal, he's pretty much just as good as the other one. The only difference would be the other one could take hits every once in a while a little bit better, if that even happens, because in some groups you never even take a hit because it's so good, or he will have a little bit more power to work with, and that could be offset with just having better armor than he does. So yeah, it may actually be worth it for you to have that lower level healer so that you guys get more experience than having that high level one. But it does make you feel good if you have a high level healer in your group. You just feel better having a healer to back you up, especially if it's a cleric, because then you have that safety net of a res once you get past a certain level. I think 29 is the earliest they get it, but it might be 39. I have to look at that again. But once you have that, and revive I think is the first one, you don't get any experience back, but at least you don't have to run back to your corpse. And that's really one of the things that saves people in groups, because when people die in a group, they have the tendency, and I hate it because, you know, I was watching a video where somebody was actually like, the group was going bad, and he was saying that because everybody was leaving, he's like, just go back to, and I don't want to say the game, but he's like, just go back to the other game, and you guys probably know which one I'm talking about, because they wanted it easy, right? Like, when things go bad in this game, that's when you really get to shine. That's when the excitement happens, because you die once, okay, that was just a bad pull, or bad, it just happened, right? Bad luck. You die twice, okay, things are starting to get a little ridiculous. You died 3 times, now it's personal, right? Now you guys are not only not leaving, but you're not leaving until you've wiped the floor with whatever mobs or room or dungeon that has ticked you off to this point, and you guys will just go in there and just clear the whole thing, and you feel just so much better because you guys have beaten these pixels. But it's funny, because they get to you so badly because you guys keep dying. So yeah, it does play a part having to run back to your course, but not having to do that will keep the group together a little bit longer, because most people will just be like, I died once, I'm out of here. I don't really want to sit here any longer, which is just kind of sad that they do that, because I think that's when some of the best times I've had in the game actually come out, and it's because you're having some of the worst times in the game at that time. But then when you look back on it, you're like, that was actually pretty funny, because the rest of your time is pretty standard. You go, you get in a group, you kill for hours or however long you have, and then you do it all again whenever you get back on the next time. So when you have these weird situations and stuff like that actually happen, is there a madman there? There it is, Desert Madman. I don't know if I could do too much damage to this one, but we'll see. I need to pay attention too, because I'm used to playing my cleric who can kind of sit in the back, and the necromancer kind of needs to be on the ball, because he's going to be doing a lot of DPS, and if he's not pulling his weight, but then again, like I said before, I can't really do a lot of damage here because my spells don't land 90% of the time, but I still need to get in the habit of it. And if you guys don't like this angle, this view, let me know. I'm planning on doing several videos here as we progress through. I also want to go over to some of the other zones and try those out, and I want to go back to Befallen as well and finish up there, because we were only able to do the first floor, and my sound wasn't quite right on that video. So I'm hoping to, redo that, and maybe do some soloing there as well, because I really didn't get to show that off too much. We did a small little group with me and Brendan. He actually has a channel, guys. If you guys are interested in that, you're more than welcome to go check that out. But yeah, we did a video together, and it was pretty good. It was pretty fun. I actually liked Befallen quite a bit, but there wasn't too many people there the day we went. Wow, it's a lucky day. So yeah, I left that experience thing up, and you get a little bit less than a bubble, or a blue bubble, I should say, not a yellow one, but a little bit less than a blue bubble for every one of those giants. At my level, with a level 15 in the group, stealing a lot of the experience for himself, so it might actually be a little bit more than that, but still not quite as much as I was hoping. This not being a dungeon, I don't think there's an experience bonus for this zone, to be honest. I know there is for, Crushbone and Unrest and Mistmore and places like that, but I don't know if there's one out here. But this is a great zone because it brings a lot of different types of players together. For one, this is a great zone for soloers because there's so many random stuff all over the place. And two, it's a great zone for a certain number of groups because at little spots here and there, a lot of the roamers seem to pass by each other, but they don't converge in large groups at any one time. So as you can see, there's a couple of those caimans out there that we're waiting on. Anyone see? No, can't do that. How's mana? I am full mana at the moment. Sorry, but yeah, as you can see, there's a few crocodiles running by, but not a whole lot going on, and yet it's almost a constant kill rate for us. That's how many creatures pass by this one little area. And so you actually will have several people who are almost always soloing, and when they are around so many other soloers, they start to talk, they start to compare notes, get ideas, they start to watch other soloers, because some people don't want to talk to other people, and so they will sit in the back while they're killing a creature, and they will see how they do it. And that's basically like taking notes or trading notes, because you're seeing their technique, and then that expands yours. But usually, eventually, at some point, those people that you're watching will get into trouble, and when they do, you will run over there and help them out, because hopefully you're a good person. You see somebody in trouble, you do something about it. And yeah, it's pretty cool in this game, because that will get you a friend. And once you have a friend, then you're more likely to group. And once you get with one person in a zone like this, it's not a stretch to find another person you can group with, and so on and so forth. Before you know it, you're in a full group of 6 people that you know and that you hang out with, and you guys are talking about forming a guild, and then you're really into the game. So yeah, it's one of those good zones that kind of bridges the gap that a lot of the other zones don't. If you go into Crushbone, you're going in there to group, because you can solo, but it's so camped all the time, you're not going to get into really getting any creatures for yourself, other than 1 or 2. Chances are people will be so upset about it, they won't want you to do it again, because they call an area basically for a group, and all the mobs within that area is like an understanding that it goes to that group if they can handle it. So the only reason you'd get one of those is if they weren't able to pull all the mobs that they were supposed to get, and there wasn't any groups nearby who would then pick up the slack, then you could get 1 or 2 of those things. It's not really gonna have soloers in that zone, which is unfortunate, because then you don't get to interact with other players. And yeah, I think that's how it was for the most part, because when my brother played, he was always in zones I never went to. Like, literally never went to those zones. I didn't pass through them. I didn't, see them anywhere near the zones I was already in. He was, like, way off the beaten path. And that's where all those people who were, by themselves killing creatures, they were all together in zones like that. And it just really separated people apart. So yeah, when you find a zone like this, and there's very few of them, but when you find one like this that actually does what it's supposed to, which is bring people together in different ways, yeah, it's really, really cool. And I like this zone a whole lot. The sound effects of the water, and then the rain. As I said before, it does rain in this zone. It's not very often, and when it does, it really limits what you can see, and you actually notice a difference in your experience coming in, because the poolers will have to run farther away, and they actually have to explore. Like, when the rain's not falling, they can see really, really far, and they are keeping track of where all these creatures are roaming to as they fight. And the good thing about that is, as soon as the fight's over, they know exactly what direction to run into to pull that creature, that mob that they were already watching. Whereas if it's raining, they may not see anything within sight while they're fighting, which means they will have to run off blind just looking for something. And that will take off time that you could be killing, and so the experience will dwindle down a little bit. And sometimes you run out there and you miss that mob by like 5 feet, you couldn't see it, and then you're running around for like 5 minutes looking for another one. So yeah, it's definitely kind of sucky in some zones. This thing has some HP. Those deep water crocodiles are crazy with the damage, and they hit hard, guys. So make sure you have a decent tank. But I think they're using a tank that's level 13 or something like that. So I mean, you really don't have to be too much higher level than I am. I would really just suggest at least level 11. I mean, you can come over here at level 10, obviously, but you're so right there on the limit. Unless you have armor to back it up, I don't really think you're going to be able to kill very much. And if you can, it's going to take all your power and all your life, and the downtime is going to be something crazy. And I really don't think you're going to get the experience worth it. Like, you could just go over into North Row and kill over there faster, safer, and probably earn more experience than you would just killing 1 or 2 creatures over here very slowly. So you got to keep that in mind. I know some people want to go to certain zones and they really want to be in those places and have a chance at the loot, but if you force it, if you go there too soon, sometimes that just means that you're going to have to leave it and come back, and that really sucks. Okay, why would he cut his finger off? Yeah, that sounds disgusting. It's just, I just managed to look down in chat, and yeah, that's the stuff they're talking about. So, I don't know, you just never know what kind of group makeup you're going to have. Okay, yeah. But I don't really talk too much in my groups lately on the videos, and I know a couple of you have pointed that out. I do apologize for that because I do talk quite a bit about the group experience, but unfortunately, why I try to make sure the camera angles are good and that I'm paying attention to what's going on in group and come up with things to talk about, I'm not quite gifted enough to hold a conversation separately in group why I do all those things. So I kind of have to just either do the videos or talk in group. So I will do some of my characters where I just, you know, run around and talk to people while I'm in my groups and stuff, and I don't do videos of those. But when I do the videos, I kind of hold off on talking, at least until I stop them or pause them, and then I'll go ahead and talk for a few minutes while I rest my voice anyways. So if you are in game and you send me a message and I don't reply right away, probably I'm making a video, but I will reply right afterwards. But for those of you who watch my videos in the first place quite a long time ago, you will notice that some of the times I will reply to you while I'm doing the video, and it usually has something to do with the video in the first place. So with Brendan or ZK, he will come over and occasionally stop by in the zone that I'm in, toss out some buffs, maybe give me some hand-me-down items that he has, which is always greatly appreciated. But you guys do not have to do that. If you guys just want to show up and wave and say hi, that's all you have to do. You don't have to give me anything, but you know, he has some extra gear and he's a nice person, so he decided to give me some stuff. You know, and I'll usually film that so that I can give you, you know, a little shout out for doing that and let people know what kind of person you are. But then again, I'll also film it so that I can show people the different gear you can get at different stages of the game. It's not really a great representation because unless you have a friend or have found some weird means to make a lot of money really early on, you're not going to be able to buy those pieces. And if you're playing on a server that just came out, like if you were back in 1999 and playing on the first day, all this armor that you see me get, you wouldn't be able to get because somebody has to kill those high-level creatures, and then somebody has to decide that they want to sell that item. And so usually that doesn't happen for a very long time. What usually happens is it takes a long time for somebody to get to that level, or people to get to that level, because even if you were on all day, all night, you know, there's probably not going to be more than a handful of people that are going to do the same, and so you're not going to have a huge group of people killing high-level zones. But even if you had people up there killing those high-level zones, they have to decide they don't want it, and they're going to outfit themselves first, and they're going to outfit their friends, and then they're going to outfit their twinks, you know, their side characters, and then they might think about selling it. So that's a very long time when the game first comes out. Usually close to a year before you decide to actually start seeing a whole lot of stuff. Now you will almost immediately be able to see a number of stuff for sale by people who quite literally are doing it just for the money. Like, they're not even trying to, you know, level up their character or create a really good one. They're just trying to sell it as quickly as possible and make as much money on it as possible, and they're hoping that if they hold on to that money, eventually, you know, the prices will come down, but they will still have that cash, and then they could outfit their guy, you know, really well. Or maybe they're playing the market. You know, there's a lot of things they can do, but usually when the game first comes out, you won't see anything like that. You'll see one or two items, and that will be all. So when you go over into the Eastern Commons right now, and you see this just unlimited line of things to buy, that's something that happens after several years of the game being out, and there's just a number of items that nobody needs and nobody really wants for their mains or even their sides, and they're just trying to make a little bit extra cash to buy those really good pieces that are really high on the price, because it hasn't been long enough for those things to come down in price. Usually when a new expansion comes out, that's when everything shifts in the price scale. All the items that were really worth a whole lot of platinum are now not worth that much, because there's not more items of that on the server, but now there's more items of that that people don't want, because they're replacing those items. They already had it, they've been using it, you know, it was worth 30k, and they got it at 30k, or maybe they camped it and they got the item, and then a new expansion comes out, and now that item's not worth 30k because there's a better item in the new expansion, which is what everybody wants. And so that item is now worth quite a bit, because one, there's none of it around, you know, because the expansion just came out, and two, when you do finally find it, you have to contend with people who actually want to use it before you can find any to sell. So all of a sudden, when they start replacing their armor, those pieces that were now used to be worth 30,000 will drop dramatically down in price, which is pretty nice for players who, one, don't have a lot of cash, and two, don't mind being 1 or 2 steps behind the rich people, basically, is what it is. But anybody in this game can become rich fairly easy. There's a lot of different ways. You can go and camp giants and get either 1 to 100 platinum off of each one of them. Do that for a little bit of time, and you should, I think it's about every hour you earn like almost 1,000 platinum. That's pretty good. Or you can go into a zone that you're getting experience on, that you want to be in, and kill names, hoping that you can get some loot off of those that then go sell for 30 or 40 or 40,000 platinum or something like that. So yeah, there's different ways you can do it, but ultimately the same thing is you're going to use your time. You just have to figure out how you best enjoy using that time. Is it in a group with other players, in a zone that you're already earning more experience from, or exploring for the first time? Or is it killing giants very slowly while you watch TV or listen to music for a few hours every day or something like that? To each their own. I can't tell you which one of those is right or wrong. They're all valid, and they'll all get you there eventually. So usually though, if you're a high level, or the highest level that you can possibly be, and you're pretty friendly with people and they like you in return, you're usually going to make a lot more money with a lot less time invested if you go to a zone and camp a named, and either get lucky on the random, or do it with a guild or a group of friends where you guys decide that you guys will be there until every single one of you get one. And that can take anywhere from, you know, 5 or 6 hours to, you know, more than 24 if you guys are really unlucky. So I mean, there will be a cap on the time that you will invest, but it shouldn't be too much. I mean, you want everybody to get one, and that may take you quite a long time, but people remember that, and it's a nice little boost of money for everybody's bank account. And the more outfitted your friends are, the more outfitted your group or your guild is, the better stuff that you guys will ultimately be able to go to and kill. So yeah, you kind of want to do that. But I think we're going to go ahead and end the episode here, guys. I think I probably talked for quite a long time. If you do like these episodes, please take a moment and hit the like button, subscribe. Definitely helps grow my channel, and I greatly appreciate that, guys. We're getting close to 100, and we're going to have to give some stuff away like we did last time. Last time I gave beta key codes to, I think it was 4 or 5 people, so that you can get it into the actual game during the closed beta phase. And I was actually doing that myself and creating Let's Play videos of that, and it was really cool to be able to give that stuff out. So I did that at 50 subscribers, and I'll do something kind of like that at 100. So again, guys, you're more than welcome to leave comments down below, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching.